Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to the channel. In this quick tip video, I'm going to be addressing an issue that I see frequently asked, and that's when dealing with fonts. When you have a letter that has like the letter G or the letter B or the letter A that has the center part, the hole that falls out when you cut it, I'm going to address how you can very easily fix that problem. And I just learned yesterday from someone on Facebook that that part of the letter is actually called a counter or a counter space. That's neither here nor there, just a little fun fact. But let's get right into Lightburn and I'll show you quick and easy how you can fix your fonts so they don't fall apart. All right, so here we have the word Lightburn. And you can see now if we were to cut this out, the center of the G here would fall out because there's nothing holding it to the rest of the world, as well as the center of the B. The rest of it would be okay because the substrate comes in here, substrate comes all around this, but you need to connect the center portion to the substrate. So the quick way that I've found to do that is I just made a box, and this is just 1 millimeter wide, and I'm dealing with a 25 height on my fonts right now. And that's another interesting thing is I'll show you right now. The word Lightburn in all three of these fonts is at 25, but they're all different sizes. So the size is very different depending on what font you actually choose. But anyway, back to the tutorial. I've got a box here that's 1 millimeter wide. That's, let me get in here, taller than the space I need to cut out. In this case, it's 20 millimeters. But let's say we take the letter B. A couple ways you can handle this. You can come right here next to it. And on this, the top's a little bit wider than the bottom, so that's not going to look quite right. Let's see what it looks like when we do it. Select both, and I go to the Boolean assistant. And what we have is we're in one of the subtract modes, and this is subtract B, A minus B. And you notice how the bottom part does not line up exactly with the top part. So that just doesn't look quite right, does it? Let's cancel that. In this case, and this is going to depend on which font you're actually using, I'm going to move it over here more towards the center and then do the same process. Boolean assistant, subtract. And now you can see it gives a nice cut through the center. So we're going to call that one OK. And then do the same thing here with another one. And where'd my box go? There's my box. I'm going to duplicate this and do the same thing over here with it. Put it basically right there. Whoop. Got both. Boolean assistant, subtract. Okay. And now these counters or holes will not fall out because they are attached to the substrate around the rest of the letter. Now a true stencil font, oftentimes they do that same feature on every letter. And you may like that look. You can go through and do that on this font if you'd like to. I personally, if the letter doesn't need it, I don't see any reason to do that. But on different fonts, little fancier fonts, you got to work a little bit harder at them sometimes. Let me make a couple more duplicates here. Whoop. All right. So like here, the letter B, I would probably take this one and match the angle a little bit. And kind of match the angle of the letter itself. And then on that one, I would probably go a little closer like this. And bring up my assistant. Subtract that out, call that one good. And then grab another one here. Let's go and do this letter G. I mean, you could do this in one shot and go right through it. I thought I was going to cut out and leave this spot hanging. But that actually works okay on this one. So we'll go with that. So now we have Lightburn. And like I say, you just do it by eye. And I think since I did this one at a little bit of angle, I should probably do the other one at an angle. So let's grab it, make a little bit of an angle here. And There we go. Do it again. Okay. So now the problem is solved. Font looks good. But I'm going to go even one more here. A couple more duplicates. All right. So let's look at some of these other letters. Look at this fancy capital A. See, now here we've got two spots in this letter A that we need to deal with. On this, I think I would do one right here. I always use the assistant because it's good to look at it first so you can see what's going to happen before it actually takes place. Okay, so if I do that, that opens this up, but there's not a lot of support on this thing. So let's go back, cancel out of that. Go through here. And here again, I'm going to angle it slightly just to kind of match and do that. All right, let's go with that one. And then bring another box over. And I'm going to match the angle just because I think it looks better that way. And come down here, kind of centered there. And do the same thing on that one. So I've got that letter A with all the... Doesn't look all that great, but it gets the effect that you need and keeps the holes from falling out. Sometimes some fonts just work better for this process than others. This one, not so much. I mean, it can get it done, but just doesn't look as good. Like here, I mean, this hole here, if we go with the same size rectangle to cut it out, there's going to be hardly anything left to it. Let's show you that real quick. Bring that over here. I have to angle it. You know, if we do that, that's just going to look weird. Let's show you what I mean. You know, that doesn't look good. And if you go much smaller than that, you're going to end up with problems of not having enough strength there either. I mean, you can go smaller depending, but you just have to deal with this on a case-by-case basis as to what's going to look good for you, what's going to work well for you. Yeah, this font just doesn't work real well for the process. I mean, you can do it, but it doesn't look nice. This one looks pretty good. I'd probably move this, upon further looking at it, I'd probably move this one farther over so it's more centered. This one here looks good. But now in the process of doing this, you no longer have an editable font. As soon as you do the first boolean action on this font with the box, you no longer have an editable font. Now it's just a path. See, it's already, the option to convert to path is gone. Make sure you have all your spelling exactly how you want it, because you're not able to edit it from this point on. You can change the scale, you know, you can make it bigger and smaller, but you cannot change the text from this point on. So just a super quick tip video for you today on how you can turn any font into a stencil font-ish. You know, it's not truly a stencil font, but you're getting the same effect. That way your holes or your counters don't fall out. You can count on me to bring you more Lightburn content. So like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.